Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, welcome. My name is Monica. In today's video, I'm going to go over some recommendations that I have for books that have a good summer vibe to it, and some books that are on my TBR that have summer vibe. So let's start with my recommendations. The first one that I have is My Favorite Bad Decision by Elizabeth O'Rourke. This is her newest release. I read this a day or two ago, and I absolutely devoured this book. I loved it. I had it read in less than 24 hours. So Kit and Miller met 10 years ago when he was dating her older sister, and she was 17, so that's that. But he realized, because they were bantering back and forth, he realized something and hightailed it. Broke up with her sister over text, and 10 years later she's about to get engaged, and her father sends her on a hike up to Kilimanjaro as a way to be able to write a puff piece for a magazine or something like that. Her father was very much intrusive in this book. Like, he did some stuff to make sure that he got his way, and I absolutely love her father for it. So Miller, he finds out that she's on this hike, and he gets his way onto the same hike as her, and he starts taking care of her, making sure that she is hydrated, that she is able to climb this mountain safely. And he even decides that he has to stay in the same tent as her, so you have kind of a one bed, one tent trope going on there. He has this need to protect her, and he's been pining for her a lot longer than she's been pining for him, but she feels like if anything happens between them, she would be disrespecting and betraying her sister, because while her sister's married, her sister's unhappily married, and she sees her relationship with Miller through rose-colored glasses, which is never a good thing. She's torn between her attraction and her love for Miller and her loyalty to her sister, and I absolutely ate this up. The summer vibes come in when they're going on vacation, and yes, it is cold on Mount Kilimanjaro, but you have to be on vacation to do that. But also, there's another setting where they're on a beach in the Turks and Caicos, and I just absolutely loved it, and I would recommend this book, and I gave it 5 stars. It was messy. There was a lot of pining. There was a lot of caretaking. I loved the characters, and I highly recommend this book. Another one that I just read was Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. This is book 2 in our Not in Love series. This one is a very, very slow burn. I mean, this one is slow, and there's an age gap. Our hero, Connor, is 38, and our heroine, Maya, is 23. He feels very strongly about that age gap. So he's one of the reasons why it went as slowly as it did. It wasn't her brother, because her brother just sort of stayed out of it and let them do their thing. There's a whole history that started a couple years before where he realized she wasn't a little girl anymore. He helped her through some different things, and now they're on this island where her brother and her brother's fiance are about to get married. There's this whole thing about the wedding being cursed because all these problems are happening. Like, Maya's sister-in-law's dress was delivered to the wrong person. She got somebody else's dress, which was horrifying. And then Mount Etna decided to erupt as well. So yeah, you had all that in the background, which I absolutely loved. You had the scenes at the beach and everything else, and you had Connor and Maya. Maya was just trying to get Connor to break, and she finally got him to break, which I absolutely loved. And there was a moment there where he was like, I just want you to be able to have everything you want. And that was his whole reasoning, and that's understandable. He's basically saying, I love you enough that I want you to be with someone else because I think someone more your age is appropriate. And I'm just like, dude, get your head out of your rear end. She loves you. She wants to be with you. You love her. You want to be with her. And she kept saying that. So I absolutely loved this book. I would absolutely recommend this one. Then I got an ALC of Capri, and I believe it's coming out on the 20th. So it's coming out this week when you see this. And I gave it 4.5 stars. This is Indie Valentine. This is her 3rd book that she just wrote. And I believe she started publishing earlier this year. So this was produced by Lyric Audio, and the narrators are Stephanie Kay and Sebastian York, whom I absolutely love. Sebastian York, he is fantastic. So this is the first in a duet for the Meadows sisters. So Capri, that's her name, catches her husband with her best friend at the beginning, and she's like, I'm done, I'm divorcing you. And that was just not even a tip of what he did. Her and her sister go to Italy, to Capri, Italy, and is on the Amalfi Coast, and she meets Jones Archer, who is our hero, and he's an American living there because he has a charter company where he will charter out yachts to clients. They meet at a candy store because he's just taken by her, and his employees invite Capri's sister onto a yacht to have fun, and so Capri goes, and so does Jones, and Jones was really happy to see her again. That's when they decide to do a week-long fling, and it was supposed to be all fun, no bonding, but they emotionally bonded with each other, and she ends up at the end going home to South Carolina, and she's from this small town. This is an age gap. I believe he is like, she's in her 20s and he is in his late 30s, early 40s, something like that. I don't completely remember the age gap, but it was significant enough that they're from different demographics. That's what I will say. So she goes home. She's a teacher. She starts getting ready to open her classroom and stuff. And she's at a bar one night, and in comes Jones. Jones is there because he lives 3 months in South Carolina where his mother is at. His mother has dementia. And then he lives the rest of the time in Capri. And they sort of pick up where they left off, but she's like, we just need to be friends. I need to work on myself. I cannot jump into a relationship. And I mean, they do jump into a relationship. And that's where the third act conflict comes from, because she really wasn't emotionally ready for different things. And I really liked the character Jones. He was a very polite guy, but he had a dirty mouth in the bedroom, and that was kind of fun to see. I really respected Capri as a character. She was very damaged, and she did attempt to say, I can't do this yet, I'm not emotionally ready, but they had a huge connection that neither could deny. And I really loved the summer vibes in Italy and even in South Carolina, and so I enjoyed this one. I really liked the side plot with his mother and her dementia and how that was handled, as well as how Capri interacted with his mother when she met his mother. And I enjoyed it. I thought the pacing was pretty good. I thought the characters were pretty well developed, and I enjoyed the narration a lot, and I enjoyed the settings. The settings were fantastic. So I think it comes out on the 20th, but don't quote me on that. Another romance with summer vibes that I read this year that I would recommend is In Good Company. This one was my first Kat Singleton book, and it's a billionaire boss slash chef, and our heroine, she worked at the Pembroke Hills Country Club in the Hamptons. Lucy is the chef, and Callahan, or Cal, is her ex's older brother, and he meets her while he is dining with some potential clients or some business stuff, and he sees her and he wants her right away, and so he finagled things to get her to be his personal chef. And I said, he spent a lot of money doing that, right? And I loved the chemistry between Cal and Lucy. It was very intense. I absolutely loved Cal and how he did things for Lucy. He helped her with her videos, as I've said in other videos. I absolutely love their relationship. I love the progression of the characters. They grew very well in this book, and just as characters individually and as a couple, I really loved the dynamics, and I love the summer vibes of the country clubs, like the billionaire country clubs. I think that was so much fun to read. I loved it, and I would recommend that you give this one a shot if you haven't already. Now, another one that I'm going to throw in here because I just feel like this is a great summer read, but I'm sure we've all read it by this point, and that is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This one is Justin and Emma, and they both feel like that they're cursed, and then they go on Reddit and they kind of connect through Reddit. And so she's a traveling nurse, and I did not know that was a thing until I looked it up, because I was like, there's traveling nurses? So I actually looked it up to see if there was traveling nurses, and there are. Anyway, so Emma goes to Minnesota instead of Hawaii with her friend because she wants to meet Justin in person, and they decide that they wanted to start dating each other to break their curse, because the last person they date always seemed to get married to someone else. So that's what they did. Well, Justin comes with strings because he's taking care of his 3 younger siblings because his mother is about to go to prison for something. Emma, she feels abandoned. She has abandonment issues, and that comes into play through the third act conflict because of how she reacts to becoming a possible parental figure to Justin's 3 younger sibling. I really liked it. I thought it was fantastic. I really loved the PTSD representation. I feel like it was well written, it was well paced, the characters were believable, and I just absolutely love this book so much. If you haven't read it already, you should go read it. Now, the last book that I want to throw out there, if you haven't read it already, because this one's a little older as well, and it's Bittersweet Heart by H. Hunting, which is Helena Hunting. This is the second book in her Lies, Hearts, and Truth series. This one was Maverick and Clover. So Maverick and Clover, this is an age gap. He's 21, she's 29, she's a professor, and he's a student. And they meet at a lake house. And every time I think of Summer Vibes, I think of this book, the opening scene where Clover is on I think it's a floaty, and she was reading and fell asleep, and the only place that she didn't get sunburned on her body was where her book was laying open on her stomach, I believe it was. And that's how they met, because she had floated into where his family was vacationing, and Maverick is Violet and Alex Waters' son, and he's the brother of Lavender, who has the first book in the series. He is a hockey player, but he's also very intelligent, and he's also has a lot of empathy for other people. And we see this going through in this story. He feels overshadowed by his father because his father was one of the best hockey players, so he feels overshadowed by that. But also, I just loved the vibe between Clover and Maverick, and what happened to Clover, because she had a really bad relationship before she met Maverick, and I loved how that was resolved in the end, and how Maverick stood up to everyone in support of Clover. I absolutely love this book. I would recommend Bittersweet Heart. I mean, you have the summer vibes, but you also have great characters and you have great conflict, and I would recommend that one. I'm just going to tell you which ones that I'm planning on reading for the rest of the summer, so that's the rest of June and into July and possibly August, although August I start to get ready for fall because I'm just like, I want summer to be over because I prefer fall over summer. I really do. These ones, I have them on hold at my library, or I already have the audiobooks or whatever, and these are the ones that I really want to read before the end of the summer. And one is Till Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn. I always like to try Megan Quinn out again and again and again. Sometimes she doesn't work for me, sometimes she does. This one I feel like it will work for me, and I just love the cover. I love the vibe the cover is giving me, so I'm going to check that one out. I also need to read Tourist Trap by Morgan Elizabeth. This I heard had great summer vibes. I heard it was great small town romance. I'm definitely checking that one out. I need to check out Curvy Girl Summer by Danielle Allen. I've had this book on my TBR since last year. I actually have the audiobook in my Audible library. I just haven't listened to it yet, and I feel like now's the time to do it. I also have Baby Moon or Bust by Ava Hunter. I skipped this one and went to For Better For Hers, but I need to go back and listen to this one. And that one I can get off my hoopla. So, and then there's a new romance that's coming out, I believe next month, and it's These Summer Storms by Sarah McLean. This is, I think it's YA, and I know it's not historical. I want to read her contemporary, and I think this one looks really interesting. I don't really know much what it's about because I do not like going into books when I know. I don't read synopsis before I go into books because I feel like I'm going to spoil it for me, and sometimes that's a bit mean the butt, but I will always acknowledge that that was my fault. I don't think it's going to be like that with These Summer Storms, so I'm definitely going to be checking that one out. And there's this one that came out, I think in May, and it looks so good. It looks like it's going to be angsty and messy and heart-wrenching, and it's called Changing Tides by Linnie Mack. I've never heard of this author. She was a new to me author. I love the cover. The cover is gorgeous. It does give me that summer evening vibes that I absolutely love. I really want to read this one. It has very good reviews on Goodreads, and I would like to try and support more newer authors if I can help that. Anyway, those are the 6 books that I would recommend that you check out, and 6 books that I do need to check out. If you have any books that have summer vibes that you think I should check out, leave them down below and let me know if you've read any of these. I would love to know your opinion on them. Please leave that down below. And if you made this far in this video, please leave me a wave emoji, since most of these have beach scenes on the cover. And until next time, my friends, happy reading. Bye.